Not only is he changing his rosette, he thinks he can delete his entire history. Robert Jenrick wants you to believe that he's the new sheriff in town, riding in to clean up the mess. But if you look at the evidence, he's actually the guy who helped trash the saloon in the first place. He's banking on us treating his record like an extra sketch, hoping with one good shake, the last 5 years of failure will just disappear. So in this video, I'm going to show you the moment this tough guy act crumbles under the slightest bit of pressure. You know, a politician is desperate when they start quoting bad westerns. Jenrick actually, unironically, referred himself as the new sheriff in town. It's quite embarrassing, but watch what happens when he gets called out on it. He immediately folds and blames his staff.
The new sheriff in town joins us live now. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. That was a bit awkward, wasn't it? The new sheriff in town bit.
Yeah, look, it was a note made by some of my aides. They write these things all the time, and I read some, sometimes I don't. I think they were having a bit of fun.
That's your strongman leader. The moment the line lands badly, it's not his fault, it's the aides, it's the hired help. He reads what he's told to read. He admits it. He's not a conviction politician, he's an empty vessel reading a script. And now he's just reading a different script because the old one stopped polling very well.
Look, I think most people in the country feel that Britain is broken today. They see their living standards as stagnating because wages aren't going up and everything that they pay for, from food and energy bills, keep on rising. They see town centres are down on their luck. Crime in parts of the country is almost occurring with impunity. Immigration never seems to be resolved. The small boats keep on coming. You name it.
And the core of his pitch is simple. Britain is broken. He says the country is in a real mess and that living standards are stagnating. And yeah, he's right. The country is broken. But look who he blames.
Well,
because people feel that the Conservative Party let the country down. It's still run by the people who did that. The people at the top of the Conservative Party are not repentant about what happened. Some of them brazenly defend the things that they got wrong, like, Priti Patel, now the Shadow Foreign Secretary. She was the person who created the immigration system that led to all of these low-wage, low-skilled people coming into the country.
He points the finger at the Conservative Party, saying they're led by the people who broke Britain. Again, he's right. But this is the height of gaslighting. Robert Jenrick wasn't an observer. He wasn't sitting on the backbenches shouting into the void. He was the housing secretary. He was the immigration minister. He was in the room when it happened. When asked why people should trust a party stuffed with the same Tories who caused the problems in the first place, his answer's weak.
If he's the one who's been advocating for change and he's not been in government, he's not been touched by these previous policies, how does a group of former Conservatives who broke Britain, in your words, how does that help?
Well, firstly, anyone who shares the values and principles of reform is welcome in reform. And if you look at Andrew Rossendale, for example, I think that's entirely consistent. He's been arguing on these issues for a very long time. I resigned from the last Conservative government because I disagreed so strongly with its immigration policy. Nigel is building a team, because it's very important now to have people with experience who can put together the most comprehensive, serious, credible plans as to how we fix the country. So if we were lucky enough to get into government after the next election.
He talks about balance and experience. No, you don't get credit for pointing out the fire when you're the one that set the fire in the first place. He claims he resigned on principle, but come on, let's be honest here. He's only jumping ship now because his leadership bid failed and Kemi Badenoch is becoming more popular within the party. And for a guy that's trying to project strength, talking about standing up to China and dealing with global security, he has an incredibly glass jaw. The interviewer, Kate McCann, asked him a pretty standard question about his tone towards his former female colleagues. She suggests that he was dismissive and blokey. A savvy operator would laugh this off. Jenrick, oh no, he snaps.
She should throw Liz Truss out of the party. I was going to do that.
Okay,
but
except
Kemi
you
hasn't
didn't.
done it.
You didn't win. One thing I would like to highlight with you: the three names there you've criticised directly: Priti Patel, Liz Truss, Kemi Badenoch. They're all women, and in fact, you repeatedly referred.
What's that got to do with anything?
Let me finish. I'm
sorry.
my point.
That's a completely nonsensical argument. I also mentioned Mel Stride in my speech the other day.
Let me finish the point. You repeatedly referred in your press conference to Kemi Badenoch. Now, you know that's not how she says her name, and you know it irritates her. Why did you do that?
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. If you, Kate,
I can explain again.
If you, Kate, think that this is important, then you look, you need your head checking. What matters here is the state of the country, and the country's in a real mess.
And I think people
We've got
really
to
are
turn this
concerned with.
around.
I think people are concerned with how their leaders portray themselves and their party in public. And many people watching your press conference suggested it looked quite blokey. It was quite dismissive of female journalists and female politicians. You repeatedly called the former leader, your former leader, Kemi Badenoch, not Badenoch, when you know that's not how you say her name.
I don't.
Some people
honestly,
might question
Kate,
why you do that.
Kate, I've no idea what you're talking about. I don't have any memory of that.
I think most women will know.
It's complete nonsense.
You need to get your head checking. That's not the response of a statesman. That's a man rattled under pressure. And then he tries the "I have no idea what you're talking about" defence, claiming a total amnesia about the things he said on camera days ago. I mean, that wasn't a slip. That's not a heat of the moment frustration. That was instinct. This is what happens when someone is used to being deferred to and not questioned, especially by a woman, especially when the challenge isn't policy but behaviour. And let's just be absolutely clear what just happened. He repeatedly mispronounces Kemi Badenoch's name. He's been told before that it irritates her. He knows exactly what he's doing, and when it's finally pointed out, politely and calmly on live radio, he doesn't correct himself or apologise. He just attacks the interviewer's intelligence. He doesn't say, fair enough, or that wasn't intentional. He just says the question wasn't important. And that's the tell. When men like this are caught out, they don't defend the action, they downgrade the challenge. They try to make you feel silly for not even noticing. And then comes the ultimate shield, the classic politician's defence when accused of having an issue with women.
And if you're trying to suggest that somehow, I don't respect women, as a husband, as a father of 3 daughters, I actually find that extremely offensive.
It's cliche, it's lazy, and exposes the truth about this new reform rebrand. It's not a revolution, it's the same thin-skinned careerist politicians we've always had, just wearing a different coloured tie. He's not here to save the country, he's here to save his career.